My friends, 2023 is almost done. So what are my favorite commanders from the past year? Well, I'm going to tell you, brother. Hey, listen up, man. I don't limit myself to top 10s. You know what I mean? If it goes to 11, it goes to 11. I keep going until I'm done. If it goes to 15, it goes to 15. I haven't had any complaints yet about this. You know what I'm saying? That's what Bill Clinton said. Anyways, there have been some banger commanders over the past year. So what are some build-arounds I've gotten into? What are some commanders that spark the imagination and spark joy in my heart? What are some unique designs that push new archetypes? Well, I have some thoughts on that and I'm going to expound below. Start this off with Etali, Primal Conqueror, 5 red, legendary creature, elder dinosaur. It's a 7/7 with trample. When this guy enters the battlefield, each player exiles cards from the top of their library until they exile a non-land card. You may cast any number of spells from among the non-land cards exiled this way without paying their mana cost. Has 9 and a green Phyrexian, transform it, activate only as a sorcery, transforms into the Primal Sickness. So this guy is a Phyrexian elder dinosaur, trample and indestructible. When it deals combat damage to a player, they get that many poison counters. Damn, that's a mouthful, dude. Etali, the Spinosaurus with the tiny hands, just like Donald Trump, is all about that triggered ability. Everything's about copying that ETB, making token copies of Etali, getting free spells. It's a fun deck, and I built a version with an elf base and then slammed as many clone effects in there as I could. I've heard people say that it isn't a fair deck out there in the world, but come on, this guy costs 7. And if it's in the command zone, you aren't going to be surprised. You know this thing is coming. Anyways, man, fun, powerful, unique commander. It's a great deck to pilot. Oh man, another one of my favorites here, Thrun and Goreclaw. 4 green for a legendary creature, human bear, just like old Nikki G. It's a 6/5 with trample. Other creatures you control have trample as well. Whenever another non-token creature enters the battlefield under your control, put a +1/+1 counter on it. It gains haste until end of turn. I've memed on this card, I've built a combo deck around this card, and have genuinely slotted this in a number of decks. For 6 mana, this does an incredible amount on the battlefield. It may not be a CEDH All-Star, but it's a couple casual legends that go in a ton of green decks. Ovika, the Freakadika, the Enigma, Goliath, 5 blue and a red for a legendary creature, Phyrexian Nightmare. It's a 6/6 with flying, has ward 3 and pay 3 life. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create X 1/1 red Phyrexian goblin creature tokens, where X is the mana value of that spell. They gain haste until end of turn. Ovika, despite being 7 mana, is another incredible commander. Putting that huge spell payoff on a commander is bonkers, dude. It's an Izzet Storm deck that uses those little creatures to good effect. Plus, it's got a decent stat line too, man. I just think the design meshes nicely with the art, and it's a really fun deck. We got Thalia and Gitrog, hosting the most popular podcast on the internet. 1 white, black, and a green for a legendary creature, human frog horror. It's a 4/4 with first strike and death touch. You may play additional land on each of your turns. Creatures and non-basic lands your opponents control enter the battlefield tapped. Whenever Thalia and Gitrog attacks, sacrifice a creature or land, then draw a card. I did a $100 commander deck around the princess and the frog here. Okay, death touch, first strike, makes this incredible hard to block. You have a landfall enabler in the command zone that also lets you sacrifice lands at the end step to draw. I'm just super impressed by the amount of stuff you can build into. It's a fun value deck that makes tons of mana while restricting your opponents. And listen, man, this is $2. Now this guy, the Lord of the Nazgul, 3 blue and a black for a legendary creature, Wraith Noble. It's a 4/3 with flying. Wraiths you control have protection from ring bearers. Who cares? Whenever you cast an instant or sorcery spell, create a 3/3 black Wraith creature token with menace. Then if you control 9 or more Wraiths you control have base power and toughness 9/9 until end of turn. You think I forgot about the Lord of the Rings, dude? Well, I haven't, and this guy is a souped up Talrand with a win condition stapled right on, dude, and he has flying. I have a deck up on Moxfield and I haven't lost with it yet. The problem with this is that the Nazgul themselves cost way too much money for uncommons, man. It's a combat-oriented clones and spells commander that gets the job done. Did you think I was going to forget Aftermath? We got Sigarda out there, Font of Blessings, 2 green and a white for a legendary creature, Angel. It's a 4/4 with flying. Other permanents you control have hexproof. You may look at the top of your library anytime. You may cast angel spells and human spells from the top of your library. This card is only 4 mana, dude. Absolutely blows my mind. Incredible build around that protects your beautiful angels out there, buddy, which is what you want to do if you're a chivalrous man. Treebeard, the host with the roast out there, the gracious host. 2 green and a white for a legendary creature. Tree folk, it's a 0/5 with trample and ward 2. When this guy enters the battlefield, create 2 food tokens. Alright, that's good enough right there. I'm sticking them in my decks. Whenever you gain life, put that many +1/+1 counters on target halfling or tree folk. This guy's your commander, and guess what? He's a tree folk. Listen, man, you can build this deck for 25 bucks. There are a number of cards that gain you life based on power and or toughness, which you can jumpstart with the foods you make on ETB. It's so unassuming, but can lead to a turn 4 or 5 knockout. Plus, he's got that hippie feeling, dude. He's got that beard. He's taking the hobbits to go see fish, brother. Shalai and Hallar sounds like a Swedish folk band. 1 red, green, and a white for a legendary creature. Angel Elf, it's a 3/3 with flying and vigilance. Whenever 1 or more +1/+1 counters are put on a creature you control, Shalai and Hallar deal that much damage to target opponent. This is from March of the Machine Commander. It's a bonkers card, man. You have all the Naya colors to get counters on your creatures, and this card ends games super fast with all the doublers out there for counters and damage in these colors. This is a nutso commander. You think I was going to forget about Sauron, the Lord of the Rings? 5 blue, black, and a red for a legendary creature. Avatar Horror, it's a 9/9. When you cast a spell, amass orcs 5, mill 5 cards, then return a creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. This guy says trample, and whenever a commander an opponent controls dies, the ring tempts you. This commander is not to be underestimated. The precon is super expensive, but this fella is only 24 cents. Plus, he's the big bad from the Lord of the Rings. Everybody would be sitting around doing nothing if this guy hadn't decided to get into some jewelry, man. And for that, we owe him a little love. This guy's captain too many vowel sounds in his name. You got Sidar, Jabari of Zhalfir. 1 white, blue, and a black for a legendary creature. Human Knight, it's a 4/3 with flying and first strike, and Eminence makes a return. Whenever you attack with 1 or more knights, if this guy is in the command zone or on the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Finally, the return of Eminence. Am I right here? Just kidding. I'm psyched we finally got a proper knight commander. This is purely a tribal payoff and is a pretty awesome reanimation engine in Esper colors. Very interesting commander, fun to explore knights. Not super powerful, but right up there. Hey, listen, man, this card came out a long time ago, but you can't forget about these 2 boss babes out there doing orbs in the street, brother. You got Xenagos and Dena. Black, green, and a blue for a legendary creature. Human Dryad, it's a 3/4. Whenever you draw your second card each turn, target opponent loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Has tap, sacrifice another creature, draw a card. You may put a land card from your hand onto the battlefield tapped. If you control 8 or more lands, repeat this process once. Look at these 2 lady boss babes out there. They're doing whatever the heck this is, man. This is a sick combo commander and has some excellent untapped synergy. Plus you have landfall effects. These 2 do it all, man. Very fun to build around in only 3 mana. It's another challenging name to say. Hidetsugu and Kairi. 2 blue, blue, and a black for a legendary creature. Ogre, Demon, Dragon. It's 5/4 with flying. When this guy enters the battlefield, draw 3 cards, then put 2 cards from your hand on top of your library in any order. When Hidetsugu and Kairi dies, exile the top card of your library. Target opponent loses life equal to its mana value. If it's an instant or sorcery card, you may cast it without paying its mana cost. This deck relies on state-based actions to kill your Hidetsugu and Kairi clones to get multiple copies of the ETB, and dies trigger to stack extra turn spells to go infinite on turn 5. Doesn't sound very fun, does it? It is fun the first time, but then your playgroup refuses to play against it ever again and you go live in your basement in shame, which you probably should. It was kind of fun breaking this card though. Let's go straight to another pair of knuckleheads from Kamigawa, Goro, and Satoru. Blue, black, and a red for a legendary creature, Goblin Shaman, it's a 3/4. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control that entered the battlefield this turn deal combat damage to a player, create a 5/5 red dragon spirit creature token with flying. 1 and a red, creatures you control gain haste until end of turn. This is another team up that mashes up ninjas and dragons and token creation in Grixis colors. I love this. It doesn't require a ton of money, it has a haste enabler right on the commander, it can be built pretty strong for cheap. I did a $70 budget deck on this, and it reliably turns out 20 plus flying power on turn 4 or 5. This card's 55 cents, dude. Don't forget about this guy. Kind of came and went under the radar. You got Brenard, the Ginger Sculptor. He's 1 green, white, and blue for a legendary creature, Human Artificer. It's a 3/3. Each creature you control that's a food or a golem gets +2/+2 and has trample. Whenever another non-token creature you control dies, you may exile it. If you do, create a token that's a copy of that creature, except it's a 1/1 food golem artifact creature token in addition to its other types, and has 2 untap. Sacrifice this artifact, you gain 3 life. The old purple pie man is out there making golems, dude. I like this guy for a variety of reasons, most of them having to do with the mechanics on the card, but he also has impeccable drip. Alright man, let's finish super strong here with Don Andres, the Renegade. 1 blue, black, and a red for a legendary creature, vampire or pirate. It's a 4/3. Each creature you control but don't own gets +2/+2, has menace and death touch, and is a pirate in addition to its other types. Whenever you cast a non-creature spell you don't own, create 2 tapped treasure tokens. This guy is a theft payoff we've been waiting for our entire lives. It's in Grixis colors, which is where most of our theft effects are, and he's got a sweet magical man hat. There are so many ways to build this. He's actually a fantastic theft payoff. We kind of had to shoehorn in different commanders for this archetype in the past. This guy does everything we need him to do. I give him an A+. So yeah man, 2023 has been a wild year so far. I'm very thankful for all the subs and all the likes out there, man. You guys are just doing a great job helping out the channel. I have a lot of responsibilities in the real world, you know what I'm saying? I got mortgages, I got child support on 7, 8, 10 kids. I don't even keep track anymore. So when I have time to make some content, it's pretty awesome to see people enjoying it. And I'm up to about, 7,500 subscribers or something, up 5,000 subscribers this year, which is amazing. It's awesome, We're not blowing up like Logan Paul or something, but we're making consistent progress. And I appreciate every single one of you guys, all my brothers and all the amazing dudes out there. Next year is going to be even better, I'm sure. I love you guys. It's Nicky G from Better Commander, signing off.